Show us your tips. New Year's Eve preview show. Beaver's incommunicado again. So on the phone at the moment, we've got Johnny, who's helped us out before. How are you, mate?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good, good. What have you made of these two cards here?
Yeah, it's prime summertime. A few good horses, mixing it with some shit ones. But yeah, I think there's a few winners around, which is good. Leading up to the Magic Million, so got to keep an eye on that. Which
Yeah,
horses are fully wound up or
we're on
need
the
to run?
millions, and I don't know if you've looked at Doomben and all, but there's a few that will be in action come Millions week that are in action on Saturday. Have you looked at across Queensland at all, or just Sydney, Melbourne for now?
Yeah, I had a scan of Brisbane, but yeah, I'll probably wait and see what happens with those. There's a few very short ones, so we'll see what happens with those. But some very good ones headed up there in preparation. So interesting to see how they go.
Definitely. We'll kick off. We'll get started at round week though, where the rail goes back to the 3 metre mark after being out last Tuesday. We've got a drying soft track, some thunderstorm forecast, but I think the track will largely play like it did Boxing Day. I think it won't be as disadvantageous to be coming from back in the field as it was there with the rail going back to 3. Any thoughts on the pattern?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we'll know pretty early on, but I think on pace is always a good place to be, and I don't think that'll change this weekend.
And we're going to kick off with the babies over the 1,200 metres for the 2-year-olds in action here. Who have you found to start the day?
Yeah, it's just a bit on paces, but I've gone for two. I think they're going to settle back, but they look like they're really suited to this one. Parkour on top, that was pretty much suited to 1,200. It was a really good debut. Jamie Carr comes up for the ride, so over Sacred Fort, it's had 2 race starts and it's been held back for this. I guess Jay Cullen on board still. We'll probably either kart Parkour or Parkour will kart into the race. I think those two will probably be prominent. Some really nice horses here. I just don't know whether they're race ready. So yeah, I've ended up with those two on top. I think the race experience would tell.
I have started the same way with Parkour. I thought rounded up all the field bar the winner really well down at Ballarat. Comes here, Jamie Carr's up, who I assume is here to ride this. I couldn't find any other really exciting rides for the day.
She's got a couple that she would have just been around to ride. So
yeah, that'll be in and around the chances. But it's on top. I think it's not a bad way to start the day. I thought Dark Arts was a danger. Actually, the trials are beautiful. Gets snapped by Racing New South Wales to lead here, and yeah, looks a good. Up on pace for me. First start, it might be a live chance here. The second is a 1,200 metre Class 3 highway. I know how much you love these, so I'll go first here. I think this is actually one of the easier highways of recent times. I think Gallant Star brings proper form and just always runs well in these. And this is a pretty weak affair. It's lots of form from up north, which generally doesn't stack up. And I think just coming off chasing Wilbury last time out, it is rightful favourite and going to be hard to beat. Where it gets from the run's probably the biggest question mark. I thought the danger came through the same race. King Rupert, who chased it well and then went to Scone and just missed Tabata Set, who's a decent enough horse in some good hands now. I think will win plenty more races. I think that's about the race. I couldn't find many others I really want to discuss. Did you find any of interest?
I sided with Bomber in the end, only because I think it's going to be a pretty much exact same trip as last time. There's not much here that's going to challenge it for pace. I think the way it jumped in and maintained, I think stepping up to the 1,200 is not a problem. But like I said, the only reason why is if Gallant Star was drawn in and I knew where it was going to land, I think it wins. I just think Bomber is more predictable and strong form. That's the only reason why I sided with that. But yeah, I'd be surprised if one of those two win.
Perfect. We've got a midway up next, 1,400 metre benchmark 72. As usual, anything caught your eye?
I think on numbers run with the tie looks pretty strong here. The only problem is Zach Wood, barrier 1. That's the only thing. I think apart from that, probably Poseidon Ruler. I think it ran really well last start. I think it's a pretty similar setup, and I won't have to round up the whole field. They're the only two I could come up with. I think Tabs is in the market, but again, I'm not sure where it ends up, and I think it might be too far back.
I end up one of your mates here on top again in Tyrannomica, who was good last time out. I thought it was last year on good. I know got caught in the heavy there behind With Your Blessing, but the last run, that was a stronger midweight. She just finishing on the heels of Terramata and Toes on a Nose, who obviously both going really well. Comes back here, will be third defence, according to the New South Wales map, so perhaps a concern. But at the $10, I thought worth one more chance. From Run with the Tide, who you mentioned, Gate 1, Zach is a concern, but mapped here just on leaders back. With even luck, I think it does bring the strongest credentials here and could be its race. So I'm sort of siding with you there, but I thought just at the price, one more chance for Toronomica.
Yep.
The fourth, 1,200 meter, 1,300 meter, in fact, benchmark 72. Two hopes. The market singled them out in an interesting race, but I just gravitated to Keenan straight off the bat. Did some good stuff last prep. Trials were okay. I wouldn't say doing cartwheels over them, but first trial was good. Second one sort of was dragged back and then hit the line pretty well. But I think bounces to the front here for Hippo and is the one to run down. From Sydney Bowler, who both runs have been fantastic. The form through both of those races has been franked pretty much, including Fire Tribe, who won Boxing Day, beat it on all merits the other day. If we're making ground by this stage, I think it's the main danger. I thought Colours of Autumn, if you're looking for a roughie, now that has broken through, now with an inside gate, that was a pretty impressive win last time out and might be one for the exotics there. Johnny?
Yeah, same with you. I found Keenan on top. I think if it brings its best, it'll do this by plenty. The only concern is, like you said, in that second trial, whether it was by design or whether the horse was just kind of needing the run. But I think it can give up on it for 2 here and still be pretty prominent. It'll roll over. It'll get a decent run, Hippo on board. Yeah, I'm pretty keen on that one. I was kind of happy to be against Sydney Bowler. I thought, look, it hasn't really beaten too much. I don't think he's been that strong yet. I think once it gets out to a bit more of a trip, it's going to be a little bit more prominent. It's found itself a nice race here, though. I don't think there's too many chances, but I think my second pick was Hyde Park. The market liked it first up, and I didn't, but it kind of impressed me more than I thought it would, just because the trials weren't that strong. The way it came home was brilliant. It's going to get a very soft run from Regan in box 2, so I think that was my value each way, and I think I'll be pretty surprised if those two don't run. The first couple.
Yeah, and it's always good when you get the two gay runners getting control pretty much. Hyde Park, under, and then Keenan can get across at its leisure, essentially.
Yeah, 100%.
The fifth, 2,000 meter benchmark, 88. Weird race because at first I wanted to pen a lot, and then the second thought through maybe Naval College is immoral. What did you come up with?
Literally exactly the same. I'm looking at it going, well, Naval College is a moral here. It jumps to the front. It gets control. I don't like Jet Stanley and I don't like the Nation Stable. But when you put it together, it just somehow works. And there's no excuses here. I mean, the second pick was Touristic. And I think Touristic's racing really well, but it's a bit of a dumb horse. I think this few of the others, if it didn't have Car Eustace on board, I think it's paying 20s. I just can't find anything to beat Naval College. I think it's a clear on top. It just feels dirty to say it, but yeah, I agree with your assessment there. He's just clearly the top bet.
Yeah, I think it's just best horse gets straight on Dreamflight's back, and I don't really know who's going to run it down. Toss a coin between Touristic and Deficit. I thought for both back to dry, who might improve. Assuming it will. I don't think it's going to be a bog track, but I assume it's going to be somewhere around that 5, hopefully better, and one of those two will be the danger. I'd suggest.
Yep.
The 6 is a mile benchmark 78. Step aside's just come out apparently.
Yep.
Cool. What are we left? Oh no, step aside's in the later race, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I absolute last chance, but I had to just put Louisville on top. I think it's a bit of you mentioned dumb horse before. It's one of them, but it just ate up the ground in that lead up run behind a horse that can lead and win, obviously, and it just meets them all again. It was the best finisher. It goes on top. The danger, again, this is another gate trial that I wish I'd seen more from. But gate 1, Hippo leading Stonecoat, I think, is going to be in the finish. And what was your assessment?
Yeah, I wanted to find Stonecoat. I think those two trials were a little bit disappointing. But then with this camp, they kind of can do that, and it's just they come out lead. Like, well, how did I find Gay Hippo Gate one at 550? So they can kind of make it look silly, but I think Louisville, it's a very strong bet here for me because look, third up, I don't know why they kept it at the 1400, and then the way it won first up at Canterbury was it was screaming for distance. It found it second up, ran into Cloudland. The third up, I mean, it really needed to step up to a mile at least, and I think this horse can go a little bit further as well. So I'm not going to take many marks away from it last start. I actually think it ran super last start, but I don't think any of these can beat it. I think the only danger is Stonecoat, but off those trials, I think you might even get a better price later on, but Louisville just ranks on top here for me.
Yeah, both it and Naval College feel like horses that could start even money and just bolt in, and they'll get too short for me to really get excited about. But they, maybe I should.
I will say I don't think we'll be getting 330 on race day. I think I really like Miracle Spin. I think it's a little short. It is coming off a good first up run, but it's kind of the market is gravitating towards that run. I think it softens up a little bit. I think Crafty Eagle last start had every opportunity to be better than it did, just didn't. When you look at the rest of them, like Stonecoat floating and Tara Shock the next three. So I'll be surprised if we're getting that 330, 350 on that stuff.
Yep. The Maroubra Mile is up next, benchmark 100. Does anything beat his favourite?
Yeah, I've got Grappini as my lay of the day at this price.
Okay.
Based off what the Ryan's stable was saying post-race, they're just kind of ticking this horse along. And when you look at its figures, it was a bit of a drop compared to what it was doing previously, and it kind of stuck on. It had every possible opportunity, had the soft lip run behind the leaders, and it just kind of did enough. It didn't really do much. I thought you could look through that race. It goes up a few kilos as well. Excellent Proposal, who was absolutely massive late. I said I don't like Jet Stanley, I don't like back markers, and I found Excellent Proposal, but at $10, I think it's clearly a better bet than Grappini at this stage. It just looks like it's just plodding along, waiting for it to end its prep, and I think it might be here, especially with the tempo and setup here. I'm not too keen at the price at this point.
Okay, so you're saying Excellent Proposal over the top.
I think Excellent Proposal can over. I think Charterhouse is a great bet. I think the way it ran last night does go up a bit of weight, but it's been running super. It did nothing wrong, it just got too far back, and Tyler ran into some trouble, gets a softer run this time. And Grappini, I think I can poke a few too many holes in it, especially the price.
I wanted to. I just couldn't bring myself to be interested in any but Charterhouse against it. So I've put it on top. I thought it showed its stock last time out in a reasonable race. I know it now goes up in weight and all the rest of it, and maybe treading ground, maybe even wants a bit further, to be honest. But Karen knows it. I'm just trusting they have got it right because I just couldn't make a case for anything else. So on top for me. The 8th is 1100 meter benchmark 78. I'm sort of keen to play here. Got a couple at a price that I like. Either or, I'm putting on top. I thought trials were fantastic. Away from home, then trialled great at home again. Finds the top here, and all that Metro form it's had that last prep is super solid. Miss Hellfire, Vienna Princess, and co. Fresh here, I think it's going to run really well around the $6. I'm just looking here, it opened much bigger. And if I'm going to make a case for a danger, I'm sort of tempted by Super Bright. Trials are fantastic again. You're getting Nathan Dell first up from a Swooper's Gate if that's in play. I just think the rest of these are either highway horses, and I know Afterlight's run 3 races this prep, but geez, a lot of them have felt very hollow, at least to my mind. But what do you reckon?
Yeah, I thought this was wide open. I found a few that I was keen back. I ended up similarly. I thought Rubitar off its trials was super. It's going to get a very soft run. First up record is absolutely bomb. I think if it produces anything that's done first up, it's right in play here and getting that $8-9 mark. So I was really keen to play Rubitar each way. I think it's just the perfect setup for it. Like you said, I think Afterlight's a little bit soft here. Dollar Magic loves the second. Otherwise, it gets another perfect trip here. I'm not sure it's going to have enough to hold the rest out, but it's super bright. Rubitar, either or. I found all 3 of those, and I think Rubitar's going to be my best result in this race for sure.
Awesome. The ninth is a very interesting race, 1400 meter benchmark 78. Anything caught your eye?
Yeah, step aside. Yeah, I think it's got panels on these. Drawn well. It's going to get a cozy ride. Its last run was super. Its first up run was super. Big Cloudland ends up gets done a neck by Fairway Star.
And should have
less than neck. Yeah, it should have won for sure. You can see the market as soon as they scratched out of the other race. They're keen here. Yeah, I think this is pretty close to better the card. The challenges like Grishila style can't have. Cross Rubicon, I think it's racing well. I'm not too sure it's going to get the best set up here. And Testosterone Silence, it's had every chance, hasn't it? So, yeah, I can't find anything to come within a few lengths of step aside here.
I think Cross Rubicon's a big price. And just at the price I'm putting on top, I'm hoping Clear Air in $15. It will be in the finish here, chasing Lekvade, who bowled in again yesterday. To 4 hours since then. It does get a long way back, but gate 8 hopefully can be at least third the running line. And if so, I think it will be in the finish with Step Aside, who Jason Collett will use that gate from gate 6 and be pretty much where it was last time out, but hopefully doesn't get it. Does have even luck, and if it does, I can see this starting even money and winning. This could potentially get smashed, but I think that it's key too. I did think about making Gracilli style next best, but probably want to see it do something. It wasn't bad through the line, but also maybe wants one more. Maybe third up mile would be the go there.
Yes.
People. Let's wrap up with a 1200 meter benchmark 78, and I was looking a bit towards some value here as well. Going to finish off with a freshie in Powerful Peg, who just an honest 1400 meter, 1400 meter horse. Comes here off some lovely trials again, which sometimes you don't always get from the Chris Lee stable. Gibbo jumps on, and I'm going to put it on top from Contemporary, who's now quite deep into a prep. Doesn't particularly like winning, but I think with Jamie Carr on can sit further forward and might get the best out of this horse if there's a best to be had. I'm going to pay them both each way and see what we can do. Union Army, good first up. I'm just starting to feel like it's starting to miss the start more than I'd like, though, which turn again here for a short price favourite drawn out. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much with you. I think if they're running on, then I'm obviously play it, but I'm not going to take 350 on a back marker in this setup. So I think it's a bit of another double horse plunging. Length is on. It's not much pace here. It could just roll to the front and just take them on. But then you think I've got Chad Schofield on board on a front runner and he doesn't really feel with confidence. So I think, like you said, Powerful Peg. She's adaptable. She's versatile. She can run anything from 1200 to a mile. It's going to get a good run. You just know that she's going to give her the best of the line. So I think that's probably the best play that each way. I'll have a tickle on plundering, and then depending on how they go, look, I think Union Army's best horse here. I just don't like jumping into this setup specifically. But yeah, I thought, and Contemporary as well, like you said. So definitely can play some value here.
Awesome. I guess I'm in charge of these quaddies. So Randwick, just sing out if you think there's anything I've missed. Let's go first leg. 1 Charterhouse. Look, I'll follow you and throw excellent proposal in, and 4 Grabini. Second leg, let's go with 3 Rupertar, 4 Afterlight, 5 Either Or, and 10 Super Bright. Third leg, 8 Louvois, 11 Step Aside, and 16 Crossing the Rubicon. And we'll come home with 3 Powerful Peg, 4 Plundering, 6 Contemporary, 8 Show High, 10 Invincible Legend, who's a big price, no trials, was a bit weird. And Union Army. So we'll play wide in the last and see if we can snag something there. What do you have you got a best in value on the card?
My best at this stage is probably going to be Step Aside, and my value is going to be Excellent Proposal. My
best is race 7, number 4 Grabini. Let's take it on, and race 9, number 16, although wasn't necessarily on top. At $17, Cross the Rubicon is over the odds here. Let's head down to the Valley. Again, rail moves into the true. I don't think the weather's going to be too bad, but perhaps some drizzle throughout the afternoon. We've got a good track, just stock standard Valley. As soon as we know if swoopers are in the game, I think you can just bet as you normally would there.
Yep, pretty much. I think you go on pace early, wait for the track to flip, and then adjust from there. But yeah, especially in the 2-year-old races, something up on pace, something on the rails, and I think you'll be doing well.
Yeah. Let's kick off with the 2-year-olds, 1,200 meters. Anything here? It wasn't overly enthusiastic.
Yeah, I thought I was keen to play against the race brigade. I thought all of them kind of had a chance to do a little bit more. I like Jenny's Meadow here. I thought it tried beautifully. The first one just kind of jumped out, found its spot, got clicked up, and ran really well to the line. Second up, ran with a little bit more intent and just hit the line beautifully. I think it's really primed to jump in and give a good account of itself. It's in the right hands. Hay stable, stacky. I think it'll run really well over in her eyes. I think that also tried really well. Two really nice fillies there. I think that we might be able to follow through, especially when they get over a bit more ground, I think. But yeah, Jenny's Meadow on top of me. I was really impressed by the trials.
Beautiful. I don't have a firm opinion. I actually thought if I was going to bet at all, I might take the $26 on a colt who started close to evens on debut. Just never ever travelled a yard. Just gone back and won $3 on debut. Didn't travel at all in that race. Trial since, which it ran, I think it won, and won maybe just at the complete throw of the stumps. I'll have a small bit there in the first, but obviously a watch and learn race. The second 1,000-meter benchmark 70. I suppose the market's in the right order. A little deep, just couldn't quite quicken at its best, and an absolute bog. I think it's a bit short here, but has to be the starting point from Very Bubbly, who just loves track and distance, or even a 955, but has been flying around this track. Is going to bounce to the lead, be the one to get past. I thought 1 and 2 largely between them. I guess you've now got to be scared of Mr. McMongle. Anything he jumps on at the moment from the Mar Eustace team, though, so perhaps that might be the one I've missed. What do you think?
Yeah, I was literally exact same. I think a little deep rates best, but it's a bit short. And Very Bubbly is just each way play all day. It's track trip, carling on. I think its figures have actually been quite similar to the other two. So yeah, I was kind of happy to just have one bet at Very Bubbly each way.
Cool. The 30, we've got the 3,000-meter benchmark 70. Just something to really get your juices flowing. John, who's going to win
it? I tried my best on this one. I really did. I just think there's a lot to turn around to overturn after the impact. I mean, any of these could win it. It's a 3,000 value race, but after the impact, it does go up a few kilos based on last start. But I thought it's warranted. Damien, I think, goes on for illness, but I won't be betting. We've had to give it a tip after the impact. I think he's still getting pretty good value for someone that won the 8 lengths last time as well. So.
And will push forward in a race without a ton of pace.
Yep.
So I've got After the Impact on top. As you said, it's hard to overlook 8 length shellacking. Damien Lane does jump on Fear Relentless, who I am making a danger, but does and was the last jockey to win on it, but does have 8 lengths to turn around, as you've said, which is never easy. A lot of the rest of his card is Damien Lane jumping on horses that are chances. So you see how many of them you find. The fourth is a 200-meter 64. What about this one?
Yeah, you see the dream pretty much. Its maiden win was actually pretty good, quite professional actually, and it hit the line well. I usually like to see him step up, but I think 1,200, keeping it at 1,200 is pretty good. I still think it's pretty good value at $3. The other two I like. If you had anything else on the page league, though, you can kind of, it was really good debut or first up run, and then second up just kind of got caught rails up asses in a wet track, and you can kind of forget that. And that's giving you the price here today. Celine won't have that problem on Saturday. And then $1 Million Mama as well. It's strong high, but Miday's just going to roll it forward. It does ping the gates, which always helps, and can flow into the race nicely. I thought it was quite generous, well into the double figures. So those are my three.
Yeah, I sort of going to spec a couple of pricey. $1 Million Mama was one. I thought that was a nice win. We've seen So Glamorous come out and beat Angel Down, who then romped in the other day. So at the price, around the $11 mark, I'm going to play it. And I'm going to give one more chance to Signal, who started short last time out. Didn't go at all there. I'm going to forgive that if we get, have we got a jockey? Linda Meach on now. Beautiful. So a couple of these ones. There's another lorry runner later that I'm just going to give a forgive to, and you're getting a price on both when I was quite keen on them last time out. So 12 from 6. I do think Exceed the Dream looks quite obvious, and Motor Man looks obvious as well for D Lane, Gate 1, potentially leading. So if people are playing with a straight batter, I wouldn't talk them out of it, but it's not really been my style, has it? So the 5th is a 20-40 meter benchmark 100. And I just came back to the fact that isn't Independent Road just going to get a complete picnic here up front? Exactly like happened to Dunkel last time out. It'll just leave the leader alone a little bit too long. And if it does, the leader will win. So I'm going to put Independent Road on top. I do think Dunkel is a nice horse, resumed well. Just where it gets to in the run might be a concern. And I guess we're interested to see how this Mon Bahar comes back first up, second prep in Oz. Next best. What did you make of these?
Yeah, exactly the same. I think Independent Road is just going to lob, hit the rails, control everything. Dunkel Barrier 1 is kind of made me put the pen through it, especially that price. I think it's just kind of naturally gone up short because it's Dunkel. But yeah, I like Independent Road here. I think it gets every possible favour. Third up, same trip, Nicky D. There's nothing here, I think, that's going to challenge it up front. And Grand Promenade will be handy, but I don't think it's going to lock and try and get the front. So it's going to have every possible favour. Like I said, like Matty Kamani with Mumbai, I see what happens with that. He's got a good knack of getting these Europeans over a trip. So that was the interesting runner for me. I kind of think it'll set up for sure.
Benchmark 84 up next, Over the Mile. What about this one?
I've been calling this horse plenty of times, but I'm just sticking with Space right here. I'm kind of pen its first up run. It's going to lob on the back of Rhinoceros. It's going to bowl him along. I think that kind of takes out half the field. Their chances in Space Tracker can sustain that run over a mile. It will just follow everywhere, I think. And then Damien Lane jumps on board. So plenty to like about it. Just ended up on top. I like its setup, but I could put a pen through a lot of these runners. And I might even have a little bit on Rhinoceros just in case he holds on. So, 4 over the 3 for me.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Not much more to add. If you ever want to see a horse not handle the track, it did not go a yard in that bog. So I was keen going into that race. I think this is an easier race. As you said, Damien Lane jumps on. All ticks. I don't really have much more to add. I thought Rhinoceros was a touch disappointing at Caulfield, given I was on a stop-like shot. So maybe PRG, main danger for me. Quaddy kicks off in the mile, benchmark 70. Do like this leader though in Ray Teehee. Nice win last time out, off a nice win before that, and gets Gate 1. Billy Eagle to know what to do and roll along and win again. Clearly on top, actually, from Montatha, who will sit outside it for Mickey D, pressure it, and might run second. Good little race, though. If you're going to go elsewhere, I would not knock you either, Johnny.
Yeah, I thought Ray Teehee and Lamborghini were the 2. I think they might have it right. I thought there'd be a little bit more price discrepancy. I thought Ray Teehee was the top raider. Not too much more to add. I think Lamborghini, if Ray Teehee doesn't jump, get a spot, Barrier 1 always kind of scares me at the Valley. Your race is kind of won or lost in the first 100 or 200. So there is that to consider. But if it gets a run, I think it should be too strong for this.
Excellent. The Cox Plate start is up next, race 8, benchmark 70. Who have you come up with here?
My notes for this were in capital letters, no ID. I've got no ID. I can't pick anything here at all. I couldn't give you a tip.
I agree, and so I'm looking for some value. I'm going to give Blue Moon one more crack. Pulled up lame last time out off a fantastic win first up, and at 20s, I'll have something there. And Deal Blaster is going really well. Gets Celine from an inside gate. Just got pantsed by a brilliant ride up the inside there. And that horse that beat it is here. But just going to go around with Deal Blaster being up there, and maybe Blue Moon can get back to its best. But we'll just see if we even get a jockey in if it turns up here with a fair bit of racing coming in the next few days. The Gold Carrot's up next, 1,200 meters for the 3-year-olds. And I thought Peace Treaty was a lovely win last time out. Had to get across all of the heels in the race and still found the line really well. now from an inside gate. I think it'll be further forward. And another one that D-Lane has jumped on. Looks fairly obvious from Capulet, who did some good stuff last time. Went out with a win finally, trialled really well without blinkers, gets blinkers back on here, and going to make it danger. I do think a horse like Flying Mean, obviously, is not going to finish as a maiden and is building nicely into her work as she races on. But what do you reckon of this?
Yeah, they were my top three, just in different order. I'm siding with Flying Mean. And last it was held up in straight and challenged Unconquerable. Just not too bad, especially when it kind of had to get itself going again on that trip. And then first up was beaten by Oak Hill. So they're two good horses. I think it's run behind. It's had excuses in both starts. First up, it kind of had to do all the work. Came around in 3-4 wide, and they were kind of a bit too slow. And then last up, like I said, it was held up. So I think the price this morning was at $8. Took a bit of that. I think that's a good price. I think Capulet's coming out a little bit more, I think, to where it should be. But Peace Beauty, obviously with danger, I think I'll be surprised if any of those three don't win. But yeah, best result for me would be Flying Mean for sure.
Cool. We're going to wrap up with a benchmark 78 over the 1,200 meters. How are you finishing off the evening?
It was unreal first up, just kind of leader just got away. It ran the quickest 1,000, 800, 600, 400, 200 in the race, which is unreal. I don't think it's going to be that far back. I think it should get a tail. I think it'll be really tough to win. Second, I like Jungle Gin. I think it's only that price because it's going to get the lead, but I don't think it's got anything on Kin here. I'd be surprised if Kin doesn't win this, to be honest.
Yeah, D-Lane jumps on as well. Tick, tick. I'm with you. And if I'm going to find a danger, I thought, well, obviously you have Jungle Gym if the rails are on there. I thought the Pink Bow Tie is going really well. Just, missed behind a decent one last time out, who's found some form. So around $12, I'll make it the danger here from, but Kin definitely on top and was heavily in my thoughts for best of the day. But I'm going to make my best race 7, number 5, Rayatihi, on the back up again. And value, we've mentioned a few outside the market I'm keen to play, but maybe race 4, number 6, Signal is a forgotten horse there. Have you got a best in value?
Kin is my best of the day, and my value is going to be $1 Million Mama in race 4.
Lovely. Did you want to crack at this quaddie or not?
Absolutely not. I've got no idea on this quaddie.
All right. That fills me with confidence. And first leg, let's go with 1 Zambogini, 3 Montatha, 5 Rayatihi, 8 Imperativo in as well. Second leg, 3 Recreant, 5 Blue Moon, 6 Let Fly, 7 Dublin Journal, 8 Galileus, 10 Dill Blaster, 12 Miss Tarzi. We'll skinny up this next leg to 3 we talked about, 2 Flying Mean, 5 Capulet, 6 Peace Treaty, and come home with 6 Kin, 10 Holy Lolly off a win, 12 Pink Bow Tie, and I suppose at some point Miss Middle Park you need to see something from, so maybe throw her in if you want one extra. Anything else from around Australia? I know Denny Star's not running, being saved for later on, but anything else caught your eye?
There's a couple of Campbell. I'll wait and see what the track comes up. I thought race 3, Invade and Conquer, really on top. Went up 380. I was surprised we went 380. It's run behind some really nice ones. Its first 2 runs, steps up in trip to the 1400, I think, and should be really tough to beat, I thought. A few nice ones running around. Ballet Just Breathe for the new Freedman Yard. That runs in race 2 of some handy trials, like Keegan Latham trials it all 3 times and you can see the progress in each run. And it's logging about 350. Comes up against Monte Kate in that race. I think one of those 2 will win. And then in the first race, Johnny O'Shea has a nice one, Suit of Armour. Alicia Collett on board, Staying Trip. I think one of that and Yarrawonga will win. So a few nice ones to come as well.
Beautiful. Just from the rest of the country, race 6 at Morfordville 3, Acceleration heading over there. Going to be hard to beat. And up at Doomben, race 4, number 9, Emperor has lobbed back in Queensland. I think it's going to run well there. And race 8, number 2, Parasol gets Blake Shin, takes on some mares and can get back into the winner's circle. Thank you, Johnny, for joining us at short notice to run through this.
Pleasure. All good. Thanks for having me.
And we will be done for the year now. So have a fantastic year on behalf of Beaver and myself. All the best from everyone at progretracing.com.au. All the best to Dean, who's finishing up at progretracing.com.au. Thanks for all his support over the last 4 and so years. For the time being, the show will be on hiatus from progroupracing.com. You can follow us from the Magic Millions meeting on Spotify at Show Us Your Tips if you search from there. And hopefully we'll talk to everyone soon. And I might even see Johnny for a beer tomorrow afternoon. So take care, mate. And take care, partners. Have a great new year.